Have you ever looked at your grocery bill and felt a sense of disbelief? Or noticed that the same $100 that used to fill your gas tank for a month now barely lasts 2 weeks? It's not your imagination. The money in your pocket, in your bank account, is worth less this year than it was last year. Every single year, its purchasing power quietly shrinks. This invisible pickpocket has a name: inflation. So what's causing this? Think of it in 2 ways. First, there's demand pull inflation. This happens when there's too much money chasing too few goods. Remember the post-pandemic boom? Government stimulus boosted spending, but the supply of everything from cars to couches couldn't keep up. When everyone wants to buy and there isn't enough to go around, prices naturally rise. Then there's the other side of the coin: cost push inflation. This is when it becomes more expensive to make and sell things. A spike in energy prices is a classic example.
When the cost of fuel goes up, it costs more to ship raw materials, more to run factories, and more to transport finished products to stores. Those costs get passed directly on to you at the checkout counter. We saw this very thing happen this past year when rising energy costs directly lifted producer prices. In the middle of this tug of war is the Federal Reserve. Their job is to keep prices stable. When inflation runs hot, they raise interest rates. This makes borrowing more expensive, which cools down spending and, in theory, brings prices back under control. But it's a delicate balancing act. Tighten the screws too much, and you risk tipping the economy into a recession. That's the tightrope they're walking right now. Over the last year, the Fed cut interest rates 3 times to try and ease the pressure. But as we saw at the end of 2025, they've signaled a pause. Why? Because inflation is proving stubborn, hovering around that 3% mark. The fight isn't over. These percentages and policy decisions have real-world consequences.
Inflation doesn't affect everyone the same way. For retirees on a fixed income, it's a direct cut to their standard of living. For low-income families spending a huge chunk of their budget on essentials like food and housing, every price increase is a crisis. It widens the gap between the wealthy, whose assets might grow faster than inflation, and everyone else. It erodes the value of your savings, making it harder to plan for the future. This deep-seated anxiety is reflected in consumer sentiment. Despite some slight upticks, it remains stubbornly low. People are feeling the pressure, and they're worried about what comes next. This struggle against rising prices is a constant feature of modern economies. History shows us it is possible to control inflation without crashing the system. A period economists call the Great Moderation is a prime example. But today's challenges are woven into a complex web of global supply chains, geopolitical tensions, and new technologies. So that shrinking value of your dollar isn't just a number on a chart. It's the result of powerful economic forces shaping our daily lives. Understanding these forces is the first step, not to stopping the tide, but to learning how to navigate it.